Oh, it's a lovely morning today, really is. September, crisp, blue skies, moon's still out, sun's coming up behind me. Really lovely, really lovely. And it seems there's a number of people out walking their dogs who think the same. Today I want to talk about the entrepreneur's ladder. The entrepreneur's ladder. Now, when we talk about this, you know, being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you can just jump straight into being an entrepreneur. And actually, this one's really for the younger generation and those folk who are kicking off. Because the very first run of an entrepreneur's ladder is being the student. And being a student of business. Now, it's really interesting. I always remember about 4 years ago, Laura, who will be doing the work behind this in terms of posting this video, she joined us through work experience, and she was at college, I think, at the time, and we never let her go, and we saw her all the way through university working with us, and you know, today she is a business owner in her own mind and still helps and supports us with our marketing. Check that out for the background. Beautiful, lovely today. Anyway, Laura has started her entrepreneurial journey as a student, and what she has done is she's actually learnt different aspects of business as a student, studied it, and then what she did is she came to us with full work experience. And as she joined us for work experience, she became an employee. But she was employed, and she has been employed in probably 2 or 3 different things over the time that she's worked with us and worked with other businesses. Now, here's the thing. You start out as a student. So if you start out as a student, and again, you never really get taught this at school, but you've got some entrepreneurial flair, and what does that look like? And harness that. Go and seek some more knowledge. Go and read books about Richard Branson and other, you know, Steve Squibb and all those people, and some real great stories, or Simon Squibb, sorry. Some great stories about entrepreneurs and what they've done. And then go and get employed and learn the skills as a business owner. Not as a business owner, but what you're going to need as a business owner. That comes next. So you go student, employee, learn the skills, and here's the clever thing, other people are going to pay for you in the school of hard knocks to get experience and learn what you need to do. So go learn marketing, go learn sales, logistics, human resources, product development, you name it. You know, whatever might be that entrepreneurial spark that you've got, learn it. Once you've learned it, it's really clever then to find yourself specifically in that industry doing that thing, but as a manager. So you become a manager, and you learn the skills required to manage in that environment, in that niche, in that business, in order to set the precedence for you stepping out. Now, this takes time. In a world where everybody wants gratification and results immediately, this takes time. Now, for some people, they'll get those immediate results because they'll, in today's world, they'll be one of those influencers, or they'll pick the right thing. But for the vast majority of people, that won't be the case. So, where do you go from manager? Well, the obvious one then is you then become self-employed. So you then actually look at what it is you want to do, and you start out effectively, it's kind of like where you become a solopreneur. And you step up and you take that step. I think one of my last videos I talked about risk awareness and risk aversity. Measure the risk, calculate the potential risk returns, and go do it. Become self-employed. And that means that you're actually, in whatever it is you want to do, you're doing it for yourself. What comes after self-employed is where you then start to morph into a business and a business owner. Now, there is a big caveat here with becoming a business owner, because in the true sense of being a business owner, That's the first transition to where you step into the world of entrepreneurship. But just because you own a business doesn't make you an entrepreneur, not in the real sense of it. To become an entrepreneur, you have to be outside of that business. You have to have what I term as a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. You own the business, but you're not involved in it. It reports to you. You know, you excuse me, you nurture the team get the business done and manage the customers bring the business in, and so the cycle continues. You know, so when you look at that side, that's where we make that first step towards being a business owner. And at that point, you then have the opportunity to really step into entrepreneurship, create new businesses. You know, you've created a model of a business, you've got the knowledge, you've got the experience. You should have a business manual. So you go do it over again and you create a manual, which means that I can rinse and repeat. And then suddenly you have a business that has more than one location. You have multiple locations. But that's the point, that you become an entrepreneur. Now, there is actually a step after entrepreneur, and that's kind of like my next target. Once you become an entrepreneur in your own, probably, and have interest in more than one business, you then become an investor. And the moment you become an investor, it's taking the wealth from your business interests as an entrepreneur and investing them in other business interests, in other business owners, in other entrepreneurs. Now, if you think about it, that is the way of the world. But to get to being an entrepreneur, you have to go through those phases more often than not. And I just caveat, because I know there's a lot of you out there that want the quick fix. And yep, it's there to be taken, but in the big scheme of things, there are probably less people getting the quick fix than actually getting the true results that they can strive for. So there you have it, my view on what I would term as being the entrepreneur's ladder. Love to have your comments, your thoughts, where you are, your experiences. Deepen the conversation. Have a fantastic day.